What's up everybody, this your boy YASHIroku, and I got another video for you all. In this video is going to be a part 2 of the last video that I did last year, and it's been over a year. A lot has changed with the Chinese Grom clone market, so I'm going to be discussing the new bikes that you can possibly buy and that are available. They are in motor size 125cc, 50cc, and also electric bikes, but I'm going to be ranking the electric bikes together with the 50cc, so let's get into it. Okay, first up we're going to be talking about the 125cc class. Right here you see the Boom Ninja. This is the second gen of the first Boom Street Ninja. It has the same engine as the Vader 125cc, and this one offers a dual brake system with bigger wheels. Now this is more if you're trying to get something to look a little bit like a street bike, but you also want the characteristics of a 125cc bike. This claims to go 75ish depending on the rider. That could be debatable, but can be achieved depending on the ratios that they're using with it, which I'm not really sure with. This one right here is available at saferwholesale.com. Like I said numerous times that I don't sponsor any of these places that I get the bikes from, so I'm just going by my research. But Safer Wholesale has been maybe a 50-50-ish vendor. A lot of people had success with them and a lot of people haven't had success with them, but with Safer Wholesale it's more of like warehouse type thing, so of course they're trying to push as much product as they can. So with that, the customer service might not be very helpful because of the fact that they're really just trying to get these bikes out. That's just the business with them. They're not really a power sports business. You definitely can tell that with dealing with them, but for the most part they are helpful with common things. But if anything technical with the bike you have a problem with, they might not be able to help you, but that's just their business setup. Okay, this one right here is a long awaited bike. This bike right here is the Denali 125cc FX or FX. This bike was only available in the United Kingdom, and I know this because of the fact that I seen a lot of these overseas, but there were very little vendors that carried this in the States. The reason why I like this one is because it's already like has this super Moto look. You don't have to convert your current Vader or other clone that you might have to look like this. This right here is believe a semi-automatic. I'm not sure if it's a full automatic, and the reason being is because it has a shift lever. So I'm not really sure if it's full automatic or if it's a semi-automatic. Either way, you don't have to worry about using a clutch, which is a plus. It's definitely if you don't want to ever stall out. So this bike is now offered at Safer Wholesale. Like I said, previously, my previous statement about Safer Wholesale, but right here is definitely a rare bike. I don't know any vendors. Of course, maybe after I make this video there might be a lot more imports of this, but just like my last clone video, most of those bikes improved, or they got second gens, third gens, and of course I don't want to monopolize this list, so some of the bikes on here will be from Safer Wholesale. I'm not promoting it or anything. That's the only vendor that I know of. So if you know of a vendor that's selling this bike, or are a vendor that sells this bike, You know, leave it in the comment section, you know, to just bring awareness. You never know, I might actually buy it. Maybe. I don't know. No promises, but nice bike. Alright, next up is the Tao Tao. Yes, Tao Tao has made the Hellcat. This is a Tao Tao Hellcat. It is a 125cc bike. Looks very, very similar to the first gen Grom. Performance wise, they pretty much every Grom clone, there's no difference in performance. It's the same, but it all comes down to what style you're looking for. Of course, some would perform a lot better depending on the performance standards that they're using. But for the most part, all these bikes are the same performance. So because technically it's the same engine, but just little bits and pieces are different. Just like in this bike right here, it looks like the first gen of the Vader, but it has a different fairing, which kind of makes me wonder if all of these fairings are interchangeable. So we have to see about that. Alright, with this right here, this one comes from a very well known and reputable place, which is Venom Motorsports. This is the X20. This is the Grom clone that looks like the second gen of the Honda Grom. Yeah, I got that right. Alright. This one looks like a solid bike. I like how it's made. The pieces look very, very similar to the Honda Grom second gen, but looks very, very solid. This bike comes from a solid vendor, so you definitely want to check that out from Venom Motorsports. Definitely a bike to get if you like this style right here. Alright, we've done reached halftime, but we are going to now be talking about the 50cc versions of the Grom Clones. And first up is another bike that's offered by Venom Motorsports. It is the Venom X21 50cc. This is listed as a scooter or moped, but in some jurisdictions it might be. But it's a solid bike. It's got the Ducati style, Ducati style. Just like the other Grom clones that are bigger motors, like the 125cc, it looks pretty similar to it. But the only difference is that this one is with the GY6 50cc motor, single shock in the back. Looks pretty solid. The speed that you'll get with this is about between 30 to 40 depending on the conditions, both rider and riding conditions. But if you don't have an MC license, so this is pretty much one of the best. I can't say it now because I'm still gotta list them, but this one looks like a pretty good contender if you don't have an MC license and would like to ride around on something that looks more or less like a motorcycle than a step through scooter. So this one will be up your alley. Well, one of the few that's up your alley, and also it looks really nice because of the stretch version that this one comes in. But this is just the beginning, so let's go on to the next one. Okay, now we're going to get to the electric bikes. So this one is a Ducati style of the Swifty that I did last time. The Swifty was pretty much a supermoto like style, and this one is more of a Ducati like style with the painted wheels, of course. That's the only difference with this one. Just the style is a little bit different. It offers the same 2000 watt motor, and it's a pretty good bike. Electric, of course. I personally would probably get the electric if you're not going to mod the 50cc. The electric would pick up speed a lot quicker than the motors on the 50cc, but you'll still be limited to about 30, 35, 40-ish. And also the drawback would be probably the battery. If the battery ever because you can't really overcharge these things, because you definitely will over time mess with batteries. But of course, batteries have to get replaced over time anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But that's like the only problem with the electric bikes. But it's a pretty solid bike for the most part. Definitely because of the fact that there's different versions that you can get of this, so you don't have to just get one version. So definitely a bike to pick up. Okay, next on this list is a treat because it is the Quetta 50cc motorcycle. Now what makes this one different from all the other ones is because this one actually offers a 4-speed transmission. Yes, it is a manual, not an automatic. So this is the closest you're going to get to a Grom Clone if you don't have an MC license. So that is pretty good. The only downside is you're probably going to be maxed out and governed to about 30, maybe 35, but pretty good for a 50cc. And you also have control over your gearing instead of the CVT that's offered by most of the GY6s. So definitely something to look at. Definitely if you want something a little bit closer to the Grom, and don't want a scooter of course, but this one definitely is something to look at, and it is offered at Superior Motorsports. Okay, with this next one, it's called the 50cc Racer Rally Sport motorcycle. I'm not really familiar with the origin name, but just like the one previous from this one, but this one offers dual brakes. It comes in multiple colors. It's offered at both Safer Wholesale and Superior Motorsport. And with this bike, it's also a shifting bike, so it's a manual. But what makes this bike stand out the most is because this one sits a lot higher and more motorcycle like than the others in this class, because this one offers 17-inch wheels along with the dual disc brakes. I don't even know any dual disc brake 50cc ever. I don't believe. I've never seen anything like that. To be honest, I haven't barely seen any disc brake scooters besides the front. Also, the GY6 also, I forgot about that. But not many scooters come with that. So with this, definitely something if you really want something that's close to a motorcycle but you don't have the MC license, this pretty much is up your alley pretty much. I've never even seen this kind of 50cc before. It's actually got the manual transmission, the 4-speed manual transmission, so you're in charge of your revs. You don't have to worry about the CVT. So definitely a contender to consider if you're in the market for a 50cc bike. Okay, next up and last is actually an exclusive. This bike hasn't came out yet, or at least surfaced yet, and it is called the Minimax 50 or the PMZ 50-M1. This bike is offered by Icebear. Icebear also has 125 Grom Clone, which I've already discussed in the first video of this series. And this bike is their first 50cc motorcycle. Well, legit motorcycle, I should say, because they also make the Mad Dogs. Well, those are more like scooters, but this one is their actual. They're losing the step through. I guess I could say the step through scooter like thing. But yeah, this is more like a motorcycle. Looks more like a motorcycle. So if you're in the market for that, definitely something to consider. Well, there you have it for both 125cc, 50cc, and electric. All the Grom Clones that are currently on the market. Of course, these are Chinese bikes. I gotta add the disclaimer: I'm not encouraging you to buy any of these bikes. These are just for informational purposes and just to bring awareness of the Chinese bikes. Like I said, I don't own any of these bikes, so I can't really say what's the reliability or longevity. All I can do is speak for the Vader. The Vader is pretty much lasted me fairly good. So with that, my work here is done. YASHIroku out.